So I got your X account pulled up here, and it says you're retired and repenting, helping men of all ages and backgrounds to improve their life.
That is correct.
So how did you get into and why on earth did you retire? I mean, there's a lot there.
There's a lot to unpack there. Why I got in, it was really just like a and giggles kind of decision. I'd ran like a paleo meal delivery company, like a pre-prepared meal, a healthy meal company back in Australia, and then sold that to a supplier. And I was like, what's my next like thing gonna be? And guy with a high sex drive, and I was just like, you know what? Maybe I can do this thing and make it work. And I kind of like took a really autistic approach to it, like reverse engineered it in like from like a networking perspective. Like, okay, if I want to end up here, like in like Los Angeles, for example, shooting, okay, well, how can I trace that backwards to where I currently am and like sort of climb that ladder of networking? Yeah,
climbing the porn ladder.
And it worked. So I ended up shooting for like all the biggest companies on earth in like 4 different continents over the course of like 5 years.
How old were you when you started?
I didn't start until I was like 30. I started as like an old man. So I was already like the stepdad archetype going into it. Like had a few grays come in, so it just fit that perfectly. But then 2020 rolled around, like COVID, obviously the COVID stuff happened, but that sort of shut the industry down for a little bit. But prior to that, I'd actually been like kind of compiling all like the biohacks that I'd accumulated over like the last 5 years from not just like my experience, but from like guys who are a lot more seasoned veterans in that industry. And I just started writing all this stuff down because I've got like a background in chemistry. I'm like a nerd, and it was just, I don't know, appealing to like collate all this stuff. And I thought, well, no one's ever collated this and like taught the average Joe like, all these things that we know. So there was all that stuff. There was a bunch. I started to get like guys in my DMs asking me for like help, for, like advice and stuff. Like, oh, hey, I'm having problems with like erectile dysfunction. What would you recommend I do? Or I have problems with like premature ejaculation. What would you recommend I do? And I started to help these guys out. The first answer was always look, just first of all, stop watching porn.
Yeah.
It's the honest truth. Like if you've got a problem with like premature ejaculation, it's probably because of the way you're masturbating. You're jerking off like at lightning speed to like pornography.
Fucking death grip.
Right? And if he's got a boner problem, like he can't get it up with his missus or whatever, like how much porn are you watching, bro? Like are you sitting there like fapping like all day, every day? Well, of course she's not gonna, like your wife isn't like this perfectly photoshopped, perfectly lit up, the professional makeup artist and a boob job and a BBL and fake lips and like and all this shit. If you're jerking off to that all day, every day, yeah, she's not gonna be quite as exciting because she's a regular woman. Like she's normal, she's a human being, for God's sake. And so just seeing this more and more and more and more, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to like get out of this. You guys are about my age. Like we didn't have that. Like access on your phone, 24/7 access to like an unlimited supply.
I didn't know people watch porn on their phone.
Now I believe like young boys are getting their first exposure to pornography at like somewhere around like the ages of like 10 to 12.
Wow. That's when I was stealing one of my dad's Playboys.
Yeah.
I got a Playboy with 17 boob shots.
Bro, and like, that was your masturbation material for your entire life.
Yeah.
That one magazine that's hidden behind the couch or something. Like, that's what we had, you know? So like, but that is nothing compared to the level of novelty.
One magazine with all the pages stuck together.
Yeah. That's it, bro. It's like, and you could even make the argument that was like bad for us. I know, like my great-great-grandfather, he had like 8 kids. He was a horny motherfucker. He didn't have access to this. Or
the Sears magazine
like,
with a blouse.
Yeah,
a woman in a blouse.
Exactly. Like what? Like the old Irish Catholics, man, they're just cranking out babies instead of jerking off.
Right.
You're like, and now we wonder, like, oh, like we've got an aging population. We're losing, the birth rate's going down. It's because everyone's just jizzing away into a handkerchief,
throwing it down the
exactly. Instead of like,
you throw birth control on top of that. That's
exactly that's a totally like that's a rabbit hole. If you want to keep your sex drive at like a 10 out of 10 all the time, that is one way to do it, is like having sex without ejaculating.
Yeah.
And this adds another layer. If you've ever had sex with a woman and you didn't finish, she is kind of furious at the fact that you didn't finish. A lot of women will be like self-conscious about the fact that they can't make a guy finish. Kind of makes them try harder. And it kind of flips that power dynamic a bit again as well. So it's like it has multiple benefits. Like you keep your sex drive at like 10 out of 10. And to be fair, like if you're in a relationship, you're trying to get your woman pregnant, you can't get pregnant every day of the month. There's only there's a window where she can get pregnant. So maybe play around with like this holding it in for the rest of the month, and then when that fertile window is there, it's like that's when you like let her out.
In your experience, in long durations of not ejaculating, are you able to be harder and go longer? Because a lot of people think that if you don't ejaculate or go on no FAP, that when you have a sexual experience that you're just gonna blow a load in like 30 seconds. And I've had actually the opposite experience where it's like if I go a long time, I have this indestructible, impenetrable, or like just fucking deadly fucking hard on. You can just like hang a down comforter on, let alone a fucking towel. You know what I mean? Oh shit.
It does affect, like I've noticed personally that it does affect the erection strength, like that. Just the level of having a 10 out of 10 level of arousal is like makes it way easier to keep a 10 out of 10 boner. I have not seen it like limit my ability to last, but I do know how to. I also do know how to control myself.
Yeah,
and I've trained myself to control myself. Some guys can have that problem, but it like premature ejaculation is actually more of an anxiety problem than anything else.
And a weak PC muscle though too.
Yeah, PC muscles play a big role in it too.
Yeah,
and the way you've trained your body to respond to sex has a big impact too.
Because when people are masturbating, the whole goal is just fucking crank that thing out and move forward. You're training yourself to do that quick.
Correct. It's like a Pavlovian response.
Yeah.
Right? See a naked woman finish is the response you've literally trained into your neurology, your biology. So you need to untrain that if you're in that situation.
What are the basic training techniques for that? For holding it longer?
The big physical one is reverse Kegels.
Reverse Kegels.
So like people have heard of like Kegel exercises. Typically women use them after they've had a baby and they've gone through a pregnancy to sort of tighten everything up down there. For guys, like a Kegel is like when you're peeing and you like hold it like midstream. That is like one Kegel, that clenching sensation. That's working on your BC, PC muscles down there, the whole pelvic floor region. A reverse Kegel is if you're peeing and you're trying to push the pee out faster. That's kind of the sensation.
So that's the exercise?
That's a reverse. Now you don't have to do this while you're peeing. You can do these things without. You can do it when it's easiest to start learning that mind muscle connection when you're pissing, because it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can learn the mind muscle connection when you go have a piss, and then once you're empty, then you can actually
practice
that mind muscle connection. Because most guys don't piss yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, no one's going to be impressed by that. Premature ejaculation is associated with a pelvic floor that is too tight. Because think about it, like they're the muscles that clench and spasm and contract during an ejaculate, right? So if they're already clenched and like tight like that, you're kind of like half cocked. Gotcha. That makes sense. So what you actually want to do is like relax those muscles a lot more, which will give you a lot more control. It's a physical, mental, like mind-body connection relationship between all those muscles down there.
So the pushing out that relaxes them.
The pushing is actually those muscles being like relaxed.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not the contraction. It's the eccentric. Is it eccentric?
Eccentric.
Fuck.
I think it sounds right.
I forget the terminology.
The eccentric. Yeah.
But that's the physical. That's a physical training component you can do. If you want to learn the skill set or learn more control or learn like a different technique in the bedroom, you want to practice it deliberately, consciously for a bit, and then you want to forget about it. Because otherwise, sex becomes like a job. It becomes a chore. So you have to get to the point where you have a bank of skills. Yeah. And it's kind of like
it's like playing the piano, right? You're like super conscious about it, but when you get to the recital, you just want to flow.
It needs to be a flow state. Yeah. And it's also a case of it's okay, because I get guys asking me like, is it okay for me to be selfish sometimes? And the answer is obviously yes, because that's actually a key component of it too. Because from the woman's perspective, it's best if you're kind of like a slot machine. She pulls that lever, and she's like, "Am I going to get my world rocked tonight, or is he going to have one for himself tonight?" She doesn't know if it's going to come up all cherries.
The chaos,
spinning. It's unpredictable. Yeah, that's why slot machines are addictive, because you pull it and it's like, what's the result going to be? I don't know. It's unpredictable. And then sometimes it's like, and sometimes it's yes, right? So you create that really addicting experience.
Oh. Can't wait to ask her later if she wants to pull what do they call them? A lever?
Yeah. Pull my lever? Yeah.
Pull my lever. Pull my lever, baby. Let's see what happens.
Well, they call it the one-armed bandit.
Yeah, one-armed bandit. There we go. Oh, that's hilarious.